Hi everyone, this is Lisa Blair coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico. I am a process-oriented facilitator and psychotherapist with a women-centered international private practice. And if you want to learn more about my work, please go to my website at www.lisablairma.com. So this is one of my Therapy Under 5 videos, the extended version, because I know I already have a lot to share with you today about this subject. I've been thinking about you all and the coronavirus, and especially thinking about those of you who may be having more anxious reactions and fearful reactions to what's happening, and wanted to offer you a few self-soothing techniques to deal with your anxiety. First, though, before I go there, I want to emphasize what you've been hearing from the CDC and your governor probably, and lots of different sources at this point, talking about taking extra precautions to keep yourself safe and disinfected and all that kind of stuff, to keep yourself protected. So, of course, there's all the normal things of washing your hands for at least 20 seconds and disinfecting regularly touched surfaces in your home and in your car, perhaps stocking up on something like 2 weeks of food in case you get sick and can't leave your home, and practicing some social distancing. If you can work at home, please do, limiting your interactions with others in ways that are good for you and feel protective of yourself, but also of the community that you're in. And there's many more things that you can do. You're all familiar with them, I think, by now. So I don't want to take long on that, but just to start with that part of it, that also manages your anxiety because you're doing certain things that are actively caring for yourself and your family and your community. The second thing I want to emphasize is to take other kinds of preventative actions in terms of addressing the anxiety that you may experience at another moment. So things like going outside in nature, going for a walk, going for a run, sitting in nature. It's okay to be outside. It's good to be outside as long as you're not in any close contact with others. Then it's perfectly safe to be outside. And that can be a real respite for feeling that kind of lockdown in your house and not wanting to leave. Hopefully you have some sort of access to a nature space that's nearby. Continue to be creative. Being creative allows you to get into a different mind space, gets you in the flow. Make art, use your hands, paint, make collages, write, whatever it is that you would do that allows your creative spirit to take over. That's really kind of healing and gets your mind and body into a different mind space and headspace. Distract yourself. Watch funny movies. Read some great novels. Get lost in another world. We all need to distract ourselves at times from all the media, all the news that we're taking in. That it can take a toll. So it's okay and it's good to also have other things going on that are not about the coronavirus, that aren't about all the difficult things that are happening in the world right now. Give yourself some breaks from that and make them fun and enjoyable and engrossing. Don't forget to sing and dance. Even if you're not a singer or a dancer, just put on some upbeat music and sing it and dance around your house or with your family and enjoy yourself. Give yourself some levity, playfulness, and a break from the heaviness of what's going on. Also, it's important to stick to certain routines that you do as long as they are careful around exposure to others on the outside. I personally am not going to restaurants or cafes anymore at this point until further notice. But other routines that are important could be journaling, meditating, maybe doing exercising or yoga at home, or other routines that bring about a sense of normalcy and keep you grounded in yourself. So there's so much happening in the outer world so rapidly that it's important to stay connected with yourself in ways that feel grounding and settling and relaxing for you, a kind of comfort zone that is hard to retain when there's so much happening out there. And then, of course, be conscious of the media that you're taking in, and you know what's best for you. You know if you're taking in too much, it can make things feel more intense. And so just be aware of what's right for you, what's good for you around the volume of information. Of course, many of us are really wanting to stay informed and reading a lot of articles and watching videos and the news and all that, and that's important. And just care for your amount that's right for you to take in, and really only you know that. So all of these precautions are good, all the techniques, all the hand washing and etc. that the CDC is recommending, great. And you're also trying to take preventative measures to kind of stay sane and stay grounded and be creative, so that your spirit is able to have resiliency through these kinds of challenges that we're facing. But if you find that you're in a particularly anxious moment, I want to share 2 approaches with you that you can take to help self-soothe. Many of you already know about these kinds of things. I'm going to share some resources with this video on my website for grounding techniques, for self-soothing techniques. There are many. Some of them will work better for you than others, so there's quite a list I'll be sharing with some helpful links. But I want to give you 2 sort of quick and dirty approaches that you can take with yourself when you're in a particularly anxious moment. Of course, if you have a loved one around, a family member or friend that you feel particularly safe with and feel loved by, then it's always wonderful to get their care and love and compassion and touch and concern when you're feeling particularly anxious. But maybe you live alone. Maybe you don't have someone in your life that you feel that with. So, and maybe you do, and they're not available at the moment. Or I also want to emphasize that it's important for those of us who have these kind of anxious leanings. I do myself, so I know about this area, that there are times when it's really important to get it from someone else because we can't do it ourselves. But there's also times, if you can grow this muscle, if you can work this muscle in yourself of being able to self-soothe, it's also a really important thing, not just because that person's not always going to necessarily be there for you when you need it, but because it helps you identify with another part of yourself that's not in that anxious experience. So it's like if you think about the fact that you have different parts of yourself inside, and one part is very anxious, is nervous, is worried, is scared, is fearful, any of those kinds of things, more or less. But there are other parts of you that are there and hopefully accessible during those times. So when we get particularly anxious, when that gets really intense, it's almost like for many of us, it's a part of us that's like a small child who's scared and needs a lot of love and reassurance and compassion. And if you can find another part of you that's not in that state, but can actually be that source of care and compassion, a kind of, you could say, positive parent, a kind of caretaker, that simply shape-shifting into that other part of you helps lessen the intensity of the one who's so fearful. Because when those emotions take over, it's easy to get swept away in that and to only feel, quote unquote, victimized by that. And I mean that without shame or judgment. I just mean that those feelings can get really strong and we get pulled in, and then we forget how to be in another part. Imagine if you were holding a small child that was really scared and freaked out, you would probably be more in the role of a caretaker, a caregiver who was trying to soothe and reassure that child. Say, it's okay, sweetheart, I'm right here. Oh, it's all right. Let me rock you. Let me be with you. Let me hold you. Let me touch you. So it's important to be able to shift into that part for yourself So that's the first of the two main approaches I want to talk about, and I want to give you some specifics around that. So when you're freaked out, that's what we call it, when you're freaked out, when you're anxious and you're worried, I want you to, I would suggest probably lying down to do this, but you have to see what's best for you. Maybe sitting up would be better, but I would suggest lying down so you're a little more relaxed and placing your hands firmly on your body, firmly on your body. You're holding your arms with your hands, and I would rub pretty vigorously like this. Rub like this. I want to get my microphone here. Rub your chest. Sometimes even kind of pulsating your chest like this, going like this, using a pretty firm hand, rubbing your legs like this, going like this. So the physical touch is pretty potent to help your body know, she knows if I'm talking to myself, she knows I'm here. She knows I'm here, right? Something is registering. Yes, that's right. I feel you. I feel you. And then I want you to add to that vigorous, firm touching and rubbing vocalization, literally out loud, not just in your mind. I want you to talk to yourself. I would suggest things like the following, but you have to figure out what's the best, what are the best words for you. I would say things like, you're okay, I've got you, I've got you, I've got you, it's gonna be okay, I know you're scared, okay, sweetheart, okay, I'm here, you're okay. Repeating those kinds of words, and getting into the feeling of soothing yourself, soothing that person, being in the role. Okay, I got you, I know you're scared, I feel it, I'm not going anywhere, I'm right here. And you're touching and saying those things at the same time. That can be very powerful to shift you out of just being in the anxious role and now being in the soothing role. As soon as you can, after you've been doing that for several minutes, as long as you need to, keep at it, keep trying, because then immediately you're going to find yourself sucked back inside. Oh no. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, my chest is feeling tight. Oh, I'm getting worried again. I'm getting anxious. Whoop, go back. No, I'm right here. I'm not letting you go. As soon as you can, start taking some deeper breaths. It's hard when you're anxious to take deeper breaths, but try it. So you take something like a 5-count inhale slowly, not like, but just a slow, wait for a moment, and then a long, say 10-count exhale. And do it again. Inhale for 5, pause, exhale slowly for 10. It's the exhale that brings you back. It's the exhale that brings you back down and grounds you again. So that's I'm encapsulating all of this as one of the main approaches. Firm grip, firm hands, being physical, being vocal, and then as soon as you can get to some deeper breathing, please do. My second approach is, if you've tried to self-soothe in the way of calming yourself down, and that is totally not working, stick with it for a little bit, but if that is totally not working and you're only getting more and more anxious, then I want to suggest doing a kind of the opposite approach, which is to stand up. This one definitely you want to stand up for. I want you to shake your whole body. Definitely shake your hands, shake your arms, and make noise. If you can, run around the room, shake your whole body and make noise. I can't stand it. It's too much. I'm going crazy. And let vocally and physically that energy get out, get expended, get used. Just go nuts with it. No one's looking. No one cares. Just run around the room. I can't stand this. This is crazy. I'm so anxious. I can barely stand it. Blah, whatever comes out of your mouth. But sometimes releasing that energy when it just gets to be way too high and you're too jacked up on it, then doing that will then go, okay, shoo, Now I'm back. Now I'm back. Okay, now I'm feeling myself again. So those are my two main approaches. Again, I'm going to put some resources below this video on this blog post on my website with more grounding techniques, more self-soothing techniques, and I hope this has been helpful to you. Know that you're not alone. You're not the only one, and I care about you, and others care about you. So please take good care of yourself. And the best thing we can do is to help one another. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.